Under. I am Dean James, and this is my co-host Kim Asabi. Say hello, mate.
G'day, everyone. I'm Dean called Kim Asabi, the members playing from the land down under. And Dean, that was the holiest cringe I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, that is the worst shit I had seen in just as long as I can remember, honestly. Ellie sent me it, and she's like, look at this. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Like, I thought you loved me. Why would you do this to me?
It's some fucking terrible, terrible shit, honestly. But yeah. What did you think of that, man? Like, I figured we could use that as our first topic and opening song, and then we'll say
I got mixed thoughts on it. And she said, don't listen to St. Paul. And there's that bit about, not wearing stuff in your hair, keeping your head covered. There's all this stuff that he tells people not to do. And one school of thought is he's telling a specific group of people what not to do. He says, hey, don't worship like this, don't act like this, don't live like this. Not specifically for those people, whether it was the Ephesians, Galatians, whatever. I'm not that big on the particular letters and that sort of thing. More of a generalist myself. And there's other people who say, well, it's a way to live for everybody. But if that's the case, then everybody should be not mixing. Like, if it's for everybody to live the ways that he dictated in those letters, then nobody should be mixing different garments of different cloths. No, women should always cover their head. No man should ever have long hair. No man should ever, this the really hardline stuff that are not salvation issues. No man with long hair that's been baptized and accepted by Christ is going to be kicked out of getting into heaven because St. Paul said men should not have long hair. So again, one school of thought is he's talking to a specific group of people saying, hey, you guys, you Galatians or Ephesians, there's probably people in the chat that know a lot more about this than I do, saying, don't act this way. You're acting this way. Don't do it. A man's long hair is a shame. Women should keep their head covered. They shouldn't wear earrings. There's a bunch of esoteric little weird bits and pieces that he says to these people. Some people take that as gospel for all people, and every man should keep his hair short and not trim certain parts of his beard. And all these laws that they keep to, and that's the whole thing about the Jewish way of living. It's all these laws they've got to stick to. And Christ was supposed to be this guy come along and said, hey, those laws aren't what's going to keep you holy and pure and get you into heaven. A relationship with me, a life through me and following me is what's going to do it. I've been sent to save you. That's what the whole dying on the cross, the blood of Calvary, all that sort of stuff is. That's what it's all about. And all the laws are not salvation issues. If you eat crustaceans, if you eat pig, if you eat what, like, that's not going to stop you from getting where you need to be, So,
right.
So she's saying, don't listen to St. Paul. A woman should be able to teach. A woman should be able to be a priest. Now, there's lady pastors, there's female pastors, there's female bishops, there's female cardinals, there's female, all the different ranks in the Protestant church and all the various offshoots. Baptist church, I go to a Baptist church, and we had a lady pastor there, Pastor Chris. She was amazing, man. She opened my eyes to so many different ways of thinking and understanding and stuff. She was certainly called to lead. She certainly had blessings and gifts upon her. She's certainly able to, speak with authority and interpret and all that sort of stuff. It's fantastic learning under her. And for 10 years, she was a pastor at our church. She's an amazing woman. So I don't think you say women can't be priests, can't be pastors, can't be leaders, can't be teachers, whatever. That's me taking Paul's writings as being specifically for a group of people, that train of thought, as opposed to for everybody. But the Catholic Church has got a particular way of doing things. They've been doing it for a long time. And more they've been undermining themselves. It's almost like go woke, get woke, go broke sort of thing. They've been going broke. People are moving away from this, saying they're outdated. There's been a resurgence lately, but I reckon it's like a 1% surgence for a 50% leave sort of thing. There's a hardcore group of people that are really adhering to Catholicism again, and really old school traditional Catholicism. But it's a drop in the ocean compared to the people that have fled the church over the last couple of decades because of a lot of what you see in the chat. About like all the abuse of the Catholic priests and that sort of stuff. Like that's a real thing that went on, and the Catholic Church covered a lot of that, and it happens in a lot of churches. I'm not saying it's just with the Catholics. So they've got their own way of doing things, and they've been selling out that way of doing things. Not even to mention some of the crazy shit the last couple of popes have said. I mean, this pope is just. Some people think he's the Antichrist. Like some of the stuff he said, it's like saying, like Islam and Christianity is exactly the same. When their views on Christ is so completely different, they're just not compatible at all. So the Catholic Church is going broke, and in an attempt to get people back, they're going woke. And I don't know what upsetting Catholics in the chat. Like you can be a Catholic who adheres to the teachings, loves Christ with all your heart, and still point to the leadership of your church and go, "That's fucked up. That's not what it said. That's not what, like there's people above you. Look at our prime ministers, presidents, same thing, kings, leaders. Doesn't matter
what. Don't get me started on our prime minister.
Right, he's absolute dickhead. It doesn't matter what job you work in. Right now, I'm working in a factory, manufacturing factory, does plastic injection molding. It's the most mind-numbing work ever. I don't mind it. It's what I need right now, but it's not setting the world on fire. But even there, in that small organization, in a little private business, the people above me don't always make the decisions I agree with. So you can be Catholic and point to the Pope and go, that ain't all day. That's not what I want. He doesn't represent me, sort of thing. I can understand that people would get mad that the Catholic Church is selling out on a bunch of stuff and backpedaling on a lot of stuff and saying, well, we don't really believe this. I mean, this Pope actually said you can get into heaven just by being a good person, not through a relationship with Christ. And every teaching in the Bible says it doesn't matter how good you are, how hard you work, how many works you do, they're all going to be tainted by the sin that you inherently have. It's Christ that's going to get you into heaven. So they're going against like the primary teaching of the New Testament for starters. That's a big deal. And it's amazing that they're selling out on all this stuff, but not the women priest thing. They're like, no, only men can be priests. Like, you just undermined the teachings of Christ Jesus himself, who is there would be no church without you guys. Like, that's where you come from, Catholic Church. Like that's the whole point of you guys being here. You're willing to undermine that. But as soon as a priest doesn't have a dong, you're like, no, we can't do that for you, fellas. Sorry, that's a step too far. Take a few steps back. I think that's a few steps before that was too far.
Probably, yeah. Maybe take a step back and have a look at yourselves.
Yeah. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, as a great poet said.
But like, I just don't agree with the fact that like my dog can't go to heaven. You know?
Well, I mean, dogs don't have souls. It's a hard thing to.
It's a whole thing, but I feel like, I feel like I would miss my
tough,
dog
man.
too much.
It's tough because they love us. Like the way they give us affection. You're like, how can you love without a soul? Look at Mo Biggs. If I die before I wake, if I DEI before I wake. That's very clever, mate. I bet he had that one scouted out months ago. And he's like, man, one day these guys are going to talk about something to do with Christianity or something, and I'm going to be all over it.
He's just got these notes, specific topics and different pages.
Yeah.
G'day, Frog. Anyway, let's say hello to the chat though, because we haven't said hello to anyone yet. G'day, Frog. Good to see you, mate. Ali is already being cringe. Hello, Ali. Hello, Richard. And of course, Mo. Good to see you, Mo. It's always good to see Mo. Who else we got? I'm scrolling. It's all Mo and Richard talking mad shit. G'day, our Luniverse. Thank you for joining us, mate. Awesome one. A member, a distinguished member. Awesome one. Yeah, who else we got? Frog G. Did I say hello to Frog? I did say hello to Frog G.
He's first. Hello,
today. Frog G. Frog G I
complimented on his fluent Australian. It come in perfectly upside down, 180 degrees perpendicular. Lovely. Good to see that fluent Australian dialect coming through. He must have studied.
Oh yeah, he's been doing that for I don't know, like forever at this point now. Just like every time he says hello to me, it's fluent Australian. He's nailed it. He's got it down pat, unlike any other.
He's been smashing that Duolingo. You got to get Ali onto that Duolingo so she can speak fluent Australian.
No. Have you not heard Ali's bloody accent? It's fucking terrible. She's got this Australian accent that she does on her streams all the time, and it is the worst thing ever.
Thanks for outing me as never watching Ali streams.
So it's feminists making fun of Catholics? No, it's feminists trying to be Catholic and still remain feminist, which is
that's the tricky bit, because she's like, I'm against patriarchy. It's like, well, I'm sorry that the Father in heaven is just so oppressive.
It's like 101 stuff, guys.
Yeah. And his son is the savior and king of kings of the universe. And the church is his bride. So like, sorry that you don't like the patriarchy, but like the whole system fundamentally is patriarchal.
I like the patriarchy, not gonna lie.
I mean, I benefit from the patriarchy. Ali says, I already knew you never watched my streams. It's not personal, Ali. You know I love you. It's just I'm a dad and I've got fuck all time. I mean, I'm glad that Dean's got enough patience to wait for me to turn up and do these. Otherwise nobody'd ever see me, which might be wish fulfillment for some people. No.
People miss you. They only show up for you, man. Nobody cares about me being here, trust me. I can stream by myself and it's empty. But yeah, Richard says there's a thing for a nun and men can't be them. More male nuns. Yeah. I agree.
Well, this is parallels with the female space marine thing. The people getting into 40K trying to push this idea of a female space marine. It's like you have the Sisters of Silence, you have the Sisters of Battle. Like there's female Eldar, there's Tyranids and Orcs don't have gender. Like Orcs don't have gender. They're spores basically. Like every other, there's female Tau. There's equivalents in nearly every race and species. It's just the Space Marine gene seed only works on the male anatomy. It doesn't work on females. And they just keep pushing this, even though they've got their parallels. They've got Sisters of Battle, which are basically female Space Marines of a different name, different color. They've got
Well, have you
Sisters of
played
Silence.
Death End Request 2? I've never played this, but do you want to play a game? Says in the Death End Request 2 game, there was a female bishop in the town, but it turned out she was evil.
I would guess that she was a Protestant bishop, like the Vicar of Dibley. You ever see that show?
No.
Might be a little bit before. It's an English show. It had that big English lass, Dawn, whatever her name is, in it, and she plays a vicar, which is someone fairly high up in the, in like sort of the system of the church. And she had the stole and the collar and the robes and everything, but she would have had to have been a Protestant vicar because they don't have female priests in the Catholic system. Dawn French, there you go. And Herschel saying this shit is honestly about control and power. And absolutely it is. They don't really, we know that they say change your product to suit us, and when you do, they don't buy it. They weren't buying it in the first place. They're only tangentially aware of it. They're reading all their comics on like ABC 123 freecomics.com or whatever that's. They
actually they did that recently with X-Men 97. You know, all that virtue signaling and bullshit with all the promotional stuff beforehand, right? The show turned out to be, the show's fine. Like it's not the best thing in the world. It is a little bit woke, but not like, not too bad. Its problems are more to do with like the animation being pretty crap. And like a lot of the stories are just like squashed into one episode when they could have been like 2 or 3 parts. Yeah. Right. But regardless of that, the show could have been the best show in the world. It's dropped. It's bombed in the ratings. Like it never even made it into the top 10 Nielsen rating, which makes it the lowest rated MCU show ever, even below What If and Miss Marvel and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like you did all this virtue signaling for nothing. You turned off more people than you actually gained, and all those people that were championing you didn't even watch it. And if they did, they pirated it because here's the numbers. You can see it.
Exactly. Well, I mean, putting it on Disney Plus for starters is going to cut out a whole. It's going to cut out. I don't what. I was going to say how many people voted for Trump? Was it Biden was 81 million? Trump got like 77 million or something. So you're cutting out 77 million Americans for starters. Are probably not because they probably don't have Disney Plus because it's very polarized over there.
That's what my next video is about. The fact that Disney Plus is like a dead streaming platform and focusing on X-Men 97 because you have all these smug dickheads all over Twitter and everything talking about how it's the best thing ever, and it's literally it's a bomb. The show's not bad, like I don't have any problems with the show really. Morph was a mess. Like he was, he wasn't recognizable at all. Like it was just a brand new character. Wasn't even the same character at all. And even that non-binary thing didn't even happen.
Yeah.
Like literally they mention it like one time in the entire show. He's generally just a reference machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he just transforms into other characters that you would rather see in the show. But, yeah.
I think it's a mistake to bring him back. Because his last appearance in the show, I believe, the original show was he'd been brought back to life or saved by Mr. Sinister, I think, and he turned evil and sent in to infiltrate the X-Men. And the end. Well,
they did save him after that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. But he was like, he had bags under his eyes and everything. He was like a drug addict at the end of it. He was terrified. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. Watch my new video when that comes out if you want to learn more about that. Herschel, good day, Herschel. Good to see you. Who else we got?
Everyone's admonishing me. Everyone's admonishing me in the chat saying, "Why didn't get 81 million?" I know that he stole it. I know all the dead. Like I misspoke. I know that they stole that shit. It's like, how many did you get? Air quote 81 million. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
no way that adds up. Our papers actually reported stolen election. There's news articles in Australian newspapers saying, big headline: American election stolen, and we're all pointing it to and going,
Yeah, no, it was like that because looking in from the outside, it was super obvious. Like if you go back to our old streams, I've deleted them. You can't. But like at the time, we were talking about it. How can Americans not see this shit? This is ridiculous.
When they started pulling out the big chipboard, big boards of wood, and they started planking up the windows so people couldn't see in them. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I've never seen anything like it. They're in the middle of counting votes, and all these people start forcing out the officials and start planking up all the windows so nobody can see.
Planking up all the windows, yeah.
That's what it's a really beat over the head moment. It's like when COVID was happening, you saw these Chinese people keeling over in the street. I'm like, come on, that's bullshit. That's a show. This is Hollywood. This is theater right now. But when they started boarding up those windows, I threw my hands up like, well, that's it. They're going to steal it. And a couple of days later, they come out 81 million votes. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, that's a good point. Ali says they made a movie and everything. All dogs do go to heaven.
I mean, they also made Bruce Almighty, where Morgan Freeman's God and being a good person gets you into heaven, but that's just not how it works.
I mean, you never know. Bruce Almighty had that spin-off, Evan Almighty. You remember that one? Not nearly.
Yeah, was that
as
from
good.
the same? Was it the same mob? Was it? I always thought that was a bit
Yeah,
weird.
same universe, man. Same universe and everything. Because
sort of-
Evan is in Bruce Almighty.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he's like one of the
really-
other news hosts, and he makes him. Remember, he makes him like blah 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 on live.
I haven't
It's
actually
the
seen
same
either
guy.
of them. Yeah.
Well, it's the same guy. Yeah. But yeah, that's actually a spin-off. Not many people know that though, because it's not nearly as good.
Ah,
But
there you
yeah.
go.
Scroll down. No cowards bow. Trying to get to the bottom of the chat here. Sorry, guys. I agree. Giving women rights has been a huge mistake. I can't say I disagree with that, Whackhouse, honestly.
I never really thought about it, but Ali made me see the light on this one. She just kept beating that horse, and I'm like, she's right.
The biggest misogynist in
Right?
CG is Ali, yeah.
I love that. I mean, I can't say it to my wife. No.
Yeah, no, but he came back. He came back after that, Richard.
Yeah, and he was like evil, and he was trying to murk the X-Men, and then
Yeah,
I don't know, somebody got caught in a cave, and he had to save them, and he changed into a whole bunch of different characters, like Angel and Sasquatch and a few others. Because the thing about Morph is he doesn't get, like, as far as I know from what I saw in the original episodes, he doesn't gain their powers when he transforms into them. Otherwise, he'd been as broken dude ever. He'd just transform into Sentry and break everyone's neck. Like, it's stupid. So what he did is he cleverly transformed into characters that had physical characteristics. So he changed into Angel, because with Angel, he could use his wings and fly. Yeah. He changed into Sasquatch, and by changing into Sasquatch, he had huge muscles and muscle mass, strong enough to pick up the thing that he needed to hold. So he didn't actually gain Sasquatch's superhuman strength. And I think the Marvel Handbook has him clocking in at superhuman class 75, which is 75 tons at a bench press. So he wasn't that strong, but he was strong enough to catch the stalagmite and stop somebody from getting crushed. I can't remember who he was saving. I think it was one of the female X-Men. I don't think it was Jubilee, but that would make the most sense.
Yeah, Matt. Well, yeah, no, in this new show, man, he turns into, like, name a character you would much rather see than Morph. He turns into Psylocke, he turns into Magic, he turns into Colossus, he turns into the Incredible Hulk at one point.
Wow.
Like, it's literally just name a character you would rather see, and, like, he's just a big reference machine in that show, honestly. So, yeah, g'day, Matt. Thanks for joining us, man. Akuma, everybody's favorite gay dude, Akuma. Welcome, Akuma. Don't you try and tell us you're a woman, because you're not. We all know you're not. Yeah, I remember all of the voting places, and they'd like lock everyone out, and then they'd pull out all these boxes from under the table and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw a thing just the other day on Twitter. I think it was Georgia, but somewhere it has actually officially been proven in court, and they've got documents, everything. It's in writing saying, yeah, no, it was stolen. This is suspicious.
It's been proven a bunch of, and this is that really. I remember one time Trump was quoted saying that he could shoot someone. He's so popular, and I think this is before the election. He's so popular he could shoot someone in Main Street and not get arrested for it. And people said, "Oh, what a terrible man he was." And then I saw all these politicians and Democrats and other people like that do these crimes and not get punished for it and get arrested and get let go. And the DAs just don't press charges. And they say, "Oh, there's not enough evidence," or we didn't want to we didn't want to press charges on this because it's going to upset people, or it's going to upset the people's faith in the system, and all this just crazy shit like this. Like, but the law says if they break this law, then they have to be prosecuted in this way for this thing. And like, yeah, but we're just not going to do it. And I just realized it really is a two-class system at a minimum, where people can literally commit a crime, and if they know the right people, just walk on it. They just walk. Like, the law only applies to the poor. It only applies to the people they want to punish. If you're in the know, you don't get punished, and that's the reality of it. Good to see, Dave.
Herschel says it's interesting that the Aussies of all people called our election stolen. Well, I mean, they were. It doesn't matter who says it. We just saw it happening live.
And to be fair, as the descendants of convicts, we're experts in stealing things.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, exactly.
Just filthy criminals. Honestly, can't trust us as far as you throw us. No word of a lie. True as I stand here.
Right, yeah. Well, what about a baby? That's a good question. Like a baby that died.
I mean, they're born sinless, and children are covered by their parents until they're like 7. So up to a point, as a parent, it's your responsibility to do the right thing and follow the teaching so that your kid's covered.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. What Herschel's saying, it was Arizona, and they found enough fraud in Maricopa and Arizona alone to flip the election. Yeah. Not surprised, man. Honestly. Like even my dad, my dad's not into the culture war at all. Yeah, even he was like, "Oh, did you see what happened in the US?" And I was like, "Yes, I saw what happened in the US, Dad. Thanks."
Yeah, I remember
my dad
Razorfist.
loves
He's in
Trump.
Arizona, so he was talking about it heaps.
My dad legit loves Trump. He thinks he's the funniest cunt ever.
Well, I mean, your dad's got good taste. He's he's entertaining, man. Like I like.
He is entertaining. Yeah.
It'll be like, oh, he's delivering a speech or whatever. Like, if I'm not doing anything else, I'll put that on. I'll listen to that. He cracks me up. Like the shit that he says is outrageous. Even now, even after all this time, it's been like when he started campaigning for the 2016 election, and then so all the way through 2016, his whole presidency. Then was it 2020 that it was? Yeah, well, it must have been because of 2024 now. They're going to go for a, he's just fun. He's funny. He's made politics fun again, and he points out. Yeah, how ludicrous some of it is. And you see some more and more people that are his followers that are also politicians that are sort of taking a page from his book and just being a bit more bombastic. And you see it even over here in Australia. Some Australian politicians are being cheeky and sort of flaunting conventions, saying, well, I'm not going to sit here and let you lecture me. I'm going to push back. And we've had punch-ups in Parliament, stuff like Australians are notoriously loose anyway.
Yeah, well, our Parliament's all kinds of fucked up, honestly.
Bought and paid for.
But yeah, back to the original topic, because we went so far off that now I can't actually transition into the next thing we were going to talk about, right? But something about women, blah blah blah. Speaking of women with power and women with influence, do you remember this chick? Remember Belle Delphine? Everybody remembers Belle Delphine. Everyone's favorite entrepreneur.
Selling a bathwater or something.
Yeah, this is exactly what this is about, too.
Oh, okay.
Bathwater. Did you know? Because look, honestly, yeah, I've roasted Belle Delphine heaps. I don't give a shit about this girl, but I'm 100% on her side in this situation. Because look at what happened with the bathwater. Look, it's been a couple of years now. I can finally share my biggest L that I've ever taken. Not only did I not earn any money from selling my bathwater, I in fact lost money doing it because PayPal, without any warning, closed my PayPal account and took the $90,000 that I earned from selling my bathwater. $90,000 from dirty bathwater. Fuck hell.
I mean,
but there was nothing I could do. I tried phoning them up and they just said, sorry, nothing we can do, guys. So, yeah.
And that's wild.
Story, so, but yeah, apparently she didn't make any money off it at all. It was all taken by PayPal.
This is a real warning about the whole, they create their platforms, they create the systems, and they've got, things in their end user agreement that says, look, basically we can take what we want and do what we want without any warning, without any notice. We don't have to justify ourselves. I was trying to log into an old YouTube account the other day and it said, yeah, this product's no longer available to you. I'm like, but why? And there was no,
but why?
There's no, they just said, sorry, this product is no longer available to you. And I couldn't, there's no lodge a complaint or what's the word I'm trying to find? Like a protest or a, it's like, hey, you want to flag this and say, hey guys, can you review this sort of thing? Like there's no option. I couldn't talk to anybody. There's nobody to contact. There's no email. What am I going to contact YouTube at youtube.com and say, hey, I can't access this account. I couldn't understand. And you realize that there's no way for you to go forward with it. If they decide I'm going to take you 90 grand, you call them and say, what's going on? They're like, yeah, we just took it. So why?
Yeah, they shut down her entire account. And then they're like, oh, because it's been shut down, we don't have your details, so we don't know it's you, even though they clearly knew it was her. But yeah, and like what Akuma says, it's a scam because if PayPal take that, wouldn't it lead to court? That's what everyone in the comments below this thing were talking about, because it shouldn't be okay, but because of the way PayPal do things, they just got away with it. And
that's what Ali's saying in the chat now. PayPal has predatory terms and conditions. That's why she doesn't use PayPal.
That's exactly what happened.
And we've seen examples in the past where people's accounts were shut down because they said things that PayPal didn't like.
Wasn't it PayPal who stopped the Canadian protesters, the truckers, and all that, and like froze all their money?
I think it was GoFundMe, but it might have been PayPal.
Yeah, it was, either way, it's the same sort of thing. It's like if you're just like you're supposed to be a thing that just transfers money across. That's all you should be doing. You shouldn't worry about where the money comes from. That's none of your fucking business.
And Dave's saying about how Stripe is no longer paying out Kickstarter campaigns they don't approve of. So anything that's got a bit of titty or whatever, which Dave's comics feature some very attractively drawn ladies. That could be an issue for him. That's something that he might even be concerned about. Like his stuff's not a titty book, but it's got a nice helping of TNA along with, arguably some of the best indie content in the entire indie comic book scene.
What are
Just
you
going to
gonna
say it
do?
out loud here. Like Dave's been producing 10 out of 10 product for years now. Absolute legend in the and doing it quietly too. Like Dave's just the most chill dude doing his thing in the corner. Like Perfect 10 issue 5's coming out. He's just making content. He's just pumping out these books. It's insane.
Yeah.
Was asking, what's the alternative to pay?
I don't know.
You could say Perfect.
I don't know. There's a bunch of different ones, but like, what are you supposed to do, right? Like, especially when because people moved from PayPal to like Stripe and things like that, and then they got roasted on there too now. So Dave is cooking Dean. How, Mo? What do I have to do with this? I don't have anything to do with this. I just use PayPal because I'm so tiny it doesn't matter. But yeah,
at least there's Zelle or Square.
I've got Square. But either way,
I haven't heard of Zelle. I've heard of Square.
Either way, Dave's book is one of the most properly named books out there, says Frog G. Yeah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong.
No word of a lie.
Is Venmo still a thing? I don't know. Maybe. It was. Once upon a time. But yeah, there's also like Apple Pay and stuff like that, Like,
it's just
I'm pretty sure Google just straight up send checks. But I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know.
And then you've got stuff like Etsy has got its own, I don't know if it's proprietary or not, but it's got its own form of Afterpay. So you can't use Afterpay on Etsy. Maybe you can. I don't know, but I don't think you can. But they've got their own version of Afterpay that's it's got some other weird name like Minge or something. I don't know. And you're supposed to sign up and use that. It's like, how many different bloody companies can have access to my bank account? That's what gets me. I get paid and I check, the bank account, and all these people companies and stuff that I owe money to, like I pay a little bit of bit of the water bill, bit of the power bill, bit of the rates, land tax, that sort of thing every week. So you get paid and then you see this money just go, and they just take it automatically. Nobody checks with you because you've already said, yes, you can take this money.
And you can't really keep track of it either, It just pops out whenever you know. Like, I actually had something good happen about that, right? Was, because it was just automatically coming out of my bank account. Adobe was actually charging me twice, and I didn't even know. They were charging me twice a month. And when I called them up to be like, hey, what the hell's going on here? It's gone up. Like, it's costing me too much money. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. They worked it out, and they're like, oh, we've been charging you twice a month for the last 7 months, so we're just going to refund all of that to you. And they gave me $650 back. It was sick.
Nice.
But fact of the matter was, they took it off me beforehand. I didn't even know.
That's what you're saying though. It's really hard to keep track.
Yeah, but yeah, either way. But yeah, this is fucking crazy. What happened to Belle Delphine is just, I have no love for Belle Delphine. This is ridiculous. But this is ridiculous. Like, look at that. And $90,377.58. And they're just like, oh, sorry, love. Like, nothing we can do.
It reminds me of those ones you see where it says, congratulations to the Arizona State Lottery, Arizona government for winning the lottery, because they take 60% of the lottery winnings. So some dude wins $1 billion and they take 6/10 of that in tax.
Yeah, I don't think they should be allowed to tax winnings. Like, if it's a prize, it should just be a prize.
Pretty sure ours is tax-free, isn't it? Australian lotteries.
I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure about Australian lotteries, but I know that America taxes their winnings, and I just think that's bullshit. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Like, a prize is a prize. It doesn't count as something you worked for. But yeah. Anyway, what do we got next? We got a few different things here. Oh, no, because my thing shit itself. Is this even going to work? Yeah, it is. It is going to work. This is actually... Hold on. Oh, yeah, we'll go to this one next, because this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I don't know... it's one of those, Jurassic Park things where it's they were too concerned with whether or not they could. They didn't stop to think if they should. Yeah, check this shit out. This is actually fucking insane. For real. Right? Proposed surgery.
Introducing BrainBridge, the world's first revolutionary concept for a head transplant machine. which uses state-of-the-art robotics and artificial intelligence to conduct complete head and face transplantation procedures, ensuring smooth outcomes and faster recoveries. Because head transplants require high speed, precision, and efficiency, BrainBridge utilizes advanced, high-speed, high-precision robotic systems to speed up the process, eliminate human error, prevent brain cell degradation, and ensure seamless compatibility. The head transplant procedure involves removing a person's entire head containing the brain from their current diseased body, then attaching it to the body of a healthy, young, brain-dead donor. Head transplants could provide individuals with...
Okay, you get the gist of it. We don't need to watch this entire 8-minute video. What the fuck? Is this not the most crazy shit you've ever seen? And the fact that they're actually going to attempt it, completely outrageous, right?
It seems like, you know, you start watching a horror movie
There's
or
so
some
much
weird,
that could go wrong here.
yeah, some weird sci-fi movie or something. Frog's calling it the real sequel to Face Off. You start watching some horror movie and it starts with like a corporate ad, like, you know, the Resident Evil movies start with Umbrella Corp sort of stuff. This is what seems like. This seems like the start of a horror movie or like a sci-fi horror movie where all this stuff goes wrong. And it starts with, you know, welcome to such and such corp, the innovators of the head transplant procedure. And you start watching the procedure and then it cuts to a lab with blood all up the walls and some headless corpses running around slaughtering scientists and shit. And it's like, yeah, everything that went wrong could go wrong.
Yeah, no, honestly, there are so many ways that this could go wrong. This is such a mess. Like, this is even if you think you can do it, you probably shouldn't attempt it because this is insane. And apparently, Herschel just said, apparently they did it with monkeys already.
Crikey.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Herschel. Honestly,
No.
I don't like this at all. But yeah, what could possibly go wrong, Dean, aside from severing the spine 100% of the time by virtue of the process? G'day, Katie. Welcome.
Terrifying.
But yeah, no, it's exactly right. Yeah, awesome one saying it's already been done, but that doesn't make it any better.
It doesn't make it right.
Yeah, no, like, what is the success rate of this operation? Is this like 1 in 10 survive and then just everyone else who they tried on dies? Because this is insane. And this is like everything from, you know, like your bottom of your neck up, right? So like, are you able to talk properly? Are you able to move properly? Can you feel? Like, what's
the quality of life on this?
There's so much wrong with this. There's so much wrong with this. Does the body rot if you don't, like, you know, like, if you don't fix it properly, if you don't take care of it? There's so many things, or so many nerves and tendons and everything, like your spine, like they said in the chat a second ago. There is so much that could go wrong with this. It makes me so uneasy. I would never go up for this. I would just deal with being like quadriplegic or morbidly obese or whatever other problems they want to, you know, why would they do this? Like, honestly, I just deal with it.
They said terminal cancer. It's like, but I mean, like if you have cancer in the lungs and they cut your head off and put it in a healthy body, I don't know.
Did you see that? Just draining into a jar? What the fuck?
Yeah, Richard's saying if you're doing this, you're on the edge of death anyway. This is a Hail Mary. This is a last-ditch attempt. And it's only going to be, you know, available to the very, very rich. So it seems to be less about, this poor Hispanic kid's got cancer, let's give him a health. I mean, there's a whole racial angle too. Like some white dude getting some black dude's body and then getting really good and going to the NBA or something. Like, I don't know.
Oh my God. Yeah, all of a sudden you get a
stuff that go on there.
You get a body that's just like a few inches taller. You know, everybody could afford to be taller. Or you're a tall dude and then you end up on a short guy's body. That would suck.
Yeah.
Like, how do they do this?
Weirdly disproportionate head and you look like a anime character or something.
Yeah, no, and like there's so much that could go wrong with this stuff, you know? Like, what if the body rejects your head, like the new head that's going on in this body?
I was going to say that there's so many things that can go wrong with a regular transplant. Like people get like a hand transplant, it doesn't have sensitivity, it doesn't react as well, it's sluggish, you know, like there's all sorts of stuff that doesn't work right in the first place. How's this? And this, you're dealing with the most sensitive parts of the body, brains and spines. Yeah. Rich is saying, what's stopping the rich growing young clones and transferring the head every 20 years? And this is what I was going to say. Exactly. I think this is really what this is. This isn't aimed at some poor Hispanic kid's got cancer, let's give him a brand new body because we just care so much. They don't give a shit about anybody. This is part of or supplementary or complementary to brain shit trip, downloading your psyche into a computer, re-uploading it, altered carbon, the whole thing Elon Musk is trying to do with the brain chips, stuff like this. This is for the elites to keep living longer and longer. And if you want to get all considering what we started with, they want to live for longer and longer because they know they're going to hell. They know they've done heinous shit. They know that they've, there's no redemption for them. They know they've taken it too far. They know that when they die, they're on a one-way trip. So what do? They prolong their life as long as possible. Look at Soros. Look at all these dudes that are trying to,
Yeah, what Mo says, if they can repair a spine, why aren't they already? That's exactly right. There's so much that could go wrong with this, and so many ways it could be abused by just crazy people. The rich and the evil. But yeah, it's like a trans bottom surgery, but 2,000 times worse. Yeah,
and we've all seen those photos.
An old dude who puts his body, like his head, onto like a female body.
They really, if you're going to do it, you're better off just doing like the brain psyche transplant. But is it if you look at Invincible with Robot, how he's the process that the
if you can do that, is that even you?
Is it? Spoilers. There's movies where a teleportation machine does that. As the dude gets teleported, he's actually creating a copy. I won't say what movies, people have already seen it. Creating a copy of himself, and that copy
kills the first guy. I know what that movie is. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, exactly.
Alex says, what does this mean for term limits? Yeah, exactly. Like, how much longer do we get Nancy Pelosi for? Come on. Keeps transplanting that head for body after body every 20 or 30 years. And sci-fi speculative fiction has been talking about this for a long time. We're going to eventually get to the point where you've got this. I mean, they're just like vampirism. They're this undying, eternal, immortal elite that they don't have to transfer their money. They just keep getting richer. They just keep getting richer and richer and richer until the point where everyone's money is their money, and there is no economy without them. And they just live forever.
They worse hell, honestly.
It's like the worst parts of every cyberpunk dystopian future. It's all the worst, most mundane. And that's the funny thing is, people said this a few times. We're living in like the worst parts of every dystopia ever. A bit of 1984, a bit of Fahrenheit, all this stuff put together. But it's also the most mundane parts. We didn't get the cybernetic arms. We didn't get the cool head chip brain implant upload. Like we didn't get any of the cool shit. We didn't get laser katanas. We didn't get jetpacks. We didn't get, any of the cool shit. All we got was the most awful, mundane.
We got digital currencies and dystopian nightmares.
And big pharma fucking you over at every turn. And
corporations ruling everything.
We didn't even get space travel. We didn't get hoverboards. We just get the worst of the worst. And that's almost the beauty of it. That's how you know it's real. Because how in the Matrix there's that bit where they say, we tried to give humans a perfect world and they wouldn't accept it. They kept pushing their way out of the program because they needed to see someone suffering. They had an inherent understanding that there needs to be some sort of suffering in the world. They couldn't live in a utopia. So we had to give them this mundane real world. It's the same thing here. If we had cybernetic arms and katanas and shit, like you wouldn't believe it. You'd think, this is cool. This is you wouldn't be so miserable. But they wanted to punish us, so they're giving us the very worst, most mundane, most awful parts that makes you miserable, makes you think, what the fuck why am I even here?
Honestly, right?
It's terrifying. It's awful.
It's the worst shit I've ever seen. And it's like we're heading towards like Judge Dredd or something with mega cities and just digital currency that you don't actually have any control over, and everything wrong with any, like what you said a second ago, like it's all the worst parts of all the cyberpunk movies. It is ridiculous.
I see it every time, there's a new subdivision going. Every time I go for a trip somewhere, a new subdivision that wasn't there last year or the year before. And it's like, how long till it is just this one long mega city where Sydney becomes Newcastle and Newcastle becomes Melbourne? Like, how long do these things all...
Well, yeah, they're building in between, like they are closing that gap. Eventually it is just going to be, all right, I live in block 50 of Melbourne A.
And there's nowhere to move either. Like, there's nowhere to... All you can do is go further inland where there's less resources, less money, less opportunities. In Australia, everything's very coastal. So if they push you further and further in... I lived inland and I love that part of the country. I'd happily live there again. But they're pushing us into the middle. People are moving further and further away. Like where I live now, this used to be the place that people used to go to get away from Newcastle and from out of the bay. When it got with the rich people, city people came in and pushed everybody out, they moved here. Now the city people are coming here, they're pushing everybody further back out to these other places. But they're coming from the other way as well. So it's like a pincer maneuver, and there's nowhere for us to go except directly back out west, where it just becomes red dust and cactuses. There's nothing out there.
Yeah, it's like deserted, and you can't just plant trees there either. It doesn't doesn't take over there. It's shit.
Yep.
But anyway, let's go on to something a bit more positive, yeah? Because this year I'm featuring this and we're going to watch the whole thing just because it's so sick, right? But some people in the chat may have already heard about it. I know you haven't, which is why I'm bringing it up. Have you heard of Logan the Wolf?
No.
Oh, man, you're going to see something great. You're going to see something great. People in the chat, have you guys heard of Logan the Wolf? Ali, I know you have, so you don't need to answer because I showed it to Ali. But
We
and
get
anyone
struck for this?
you might have no, it's a fan film. But you guys have seen it on you guys have seen it on Jeremy's channel if you're watching Jeremy at all, because Jeremy featured it before I did. We would have featured it last week, but Kim Sabi wasn't here.
So much.
Sick as in really good. Really, really good, Our Universe. You're not gonna want to miss this for real. This is sick. We're just gonna watch it. We're gonna enjoy this, all right? It's a Logan the Wolf is a Wolverine fan film. Yeah? You're gonna love this shit for real, right? And yeah, we're still on the screen, right? We're just gonna enjoy this, yeah, for real, because this is sick, for real. Like, just enjoy yourselves. And it should be fun.
I am wrath. I am chaos and balance. I am death and resurrection. I am Fenrir's fury.
Hold on. Before it starts, it's not meant to be all jittery like that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, hold on. Let me refresh it for you. Because I don't want it. I want you to actually enjoy this, you know? Like, I don't want you to sing this. Because it's jittery on my screen, too. I don't know what's happening. It's coming, Herschel. It's coming.
I've been waiting for you.
Should I run instead?
I don't run away from miserable creatures.
I've heard a lot about you. Stories are told about a ferocious wolf that butchers women and children, and even slaughtered 20 of Gunnar's men alone. Lies! Nothing more than fairy tales to scare little kids. Lord Ottar put a bounty on your head, and I don't give a shit what they say about you or what you've done. We are here for the money.
I don't know, guys.
Are you sure it's worth it?
Such a leader, man. It sure is.
I leave one of you alive so you can warn your sons about those fairy tales.
Get him! So much for that. Take the body.
This is where it gets good, guys.
What kind of demon are you?
I am Logan, the wolf.
Kill him.
Kill!
He's like, no, you kill him.
Right?
You freak.
Leave now and tell your kind about me. Tell your kind a new god will soon rule. Tell your kind a new era is upon them. Go now!
last warning. That's a shame. I thought you'd understand.
You're going to die like the rest of them.
Show me.
And that's it. What do you reckon, Kemosabe? How sick was
That was
that?
a lot of fun. You did sit around going, what if Wolverine was in the Viking era? It just went from there,
Yeah.
Richard Fawkes says, imagine having Magneto's powers in a world where nearly everything is made of wood and stone.
I know, right? You might even live half your life without even realizing you got any sort of powers.
Yeah. No, that was good fun. It really ramped it up with the gore once he popped the claws out.
Right. I love the way when he first pops them and they come out like slowly. I thought it was sick. Honestly, it was sick. The acting is weak because it's a fan thing, Ludiverse. Of course the acting is weak. But it wasn't bad. The action in it was like solid.
It was.
G'day, Henry. Welcome. Yeah, put that in your box. Oh, actually, that reminds me, man. There's actually I'm gonna have to delay the giveaway for like 2 weeks because the X-Men Mutant Genesis 2.0 got cancelled on me, and I had to buy another one, so it won't be here until like mid-June, like June 7th, between 7th and 15th is when it's going to show up to my house. But yeah,
when
just
it shows
so
up to
you
his
know.
house, he's going to start putting boards up on the windows and pushing all the officials out of the rooms just so he can do a recount.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to do a recount. But there is going to be some updates. There is going to be a copy of The Embrace in there because Odin is sending me a copy of The Embrace. But yeah, just so you know, like I won't be doing the draw. Like I would have done it on the 30th of this month, so I would have done it in a couple of days. But I'm actually not going to be doing it for another 2 weeks now because some of the things got delayed and I have to repurchase them. Sorry about that. But yeah, become a member to join into Dean's big box chock full of cocks. Yeah.
Ali said tiny Australian child noise. They had to mute it and tell him to be quiet.
Aw. 2 weeks. Looks like I'm not going to be a member for a bit longer then. Richard, why must you tell me? 2 weeks doesn't matter. You could become a member right now, and in 2 weeks' time, you would still be a member. That's how they work. So it's fine. But yeah, just so you know, that's what's happening. It's going to be delayed a little bit. But we've got all kinds of stuff. I actually announced just last week that Dark Souls Volume 1 is going to be in there, which is it's a great comic book, honestly. It's a great graphic novel. But yeah, become a member to join Dean's big box chock full of cocks. So what else we got on this list? Let's go to the next thing. We don't have to talk about that. Oh yeah, did you hear about this? Did you hear what's it called? Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah.
Black Assassin's Creed. Yeah, did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know that this image that everyone's showing around saying that he was a real guy is actually
go on.
Hey, this isn't even Yasuke at all. This is a fake art piece, and the artist is really pissed off about it because his whole thing is him. I'm assuming it's a him, this Rus Nicola. It might be a woman. But honestly, the whole thing is that they do African-American people in different styles of historical outfits and things like that, that, but it's art. Now, this has been getting shared around as if it's real, and now the artist has come out and been like, this is bullshit, like it's one of my art pieces, tag me in it, or else I'm just going to like start removing them from everywhere and reporting people. But yeah, so this picture that, everyone's using as like, oh, you just don't like black people, blah, 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 he's real, is actually just a fake thing. It's like
they're actually stealing from and devaluing and disincentivizing
there are many examples.
Yeah.
Nicola, so it must be a chick, but yeah. Many variations, even in like old knight's armor and everything like that, of just like an African-American dude. But
I can't get over, and it's been talked about a lot, but I did think the artist was a woman, Ali. I can't get over the idea that these guys finally making an Assassin's Creed in Japan. Like, I mean, when people say assassin, a lot of people default to ninjas. They're finally making an Assassin's Creed set in Japan. And of all, like, instead of having him as an NPC, as a DLC character, as an expansion character, as an option, as a skin, whatever, there's 100 ways you could have done it. And they really, I just can't get, you know, a lot of people, when you talk about, you know, Get Woke, Go Broke, and talk about DEI and talk about forced diversity, want to believe it, they push back. They say, but why? What does Vanguard and BlackRock get out of pushing Black Samurai? Like, how do just worlds apart as far as East is from West? You got BlackRock owning big shares in this company, and the company puts out this woke content. How do they benefit from that? And sometimes it's hard to really draw a concrete line between the two. We sort of know deep down why, but when you say it out loud, sometimes it can sound a little bit crazy. I just can't believe how deep they've gone in on this, like to the point where they really are cutting off the nose to spite their face. They've absolutely tanked the sales on this thing. Everyone's laughing at it. Like, what little credibility they had left is completely in the gutter, and they're doubling down on it. And I can't, useful idiots, you know, I can't believe that these companies managed to find enough people who really, truly, honestly believe this enough to fight this hard for it. Like, surely at some point when they're losing enough money and they're losing jobs and losing positions, they'd have to course correct, but they keep failing upwards, so it doesn't happen. And everybody just keeps saying, when is the bubble going to burst? Maybe this is one of the points where we can point to it and say, this is the very start of the bubble bursting, you know, and people have said, you know, the pendulum started to swing back, and I believe it has. But for the actual bubble to burst, for it to be a real tactile thing that you can point to and say, that was the moment where they took it too far, this might be it. I don't know for sure.
This might be it for gamers. This honestly might be the line for gamers, because honestly, it's at the point, like, yes, Yasuke existed, but he was not a samurai. He was like a samurai assistant, and he was a slave, and they dressed him up as a samurai because the Japanese found it funny. They thought it was really funny to see this big black dude carrying all these swords dressed as a samurai. So if anything, it's like super racist of them. But now, like, trying to pretend that he was some sort of massive historical figure who, you know, saved Japan and shit like that, because, you know, he's going to be the hero of the story. He's going to get into some grand adventure that just never happened, is a disrespect to the actual history of Japan. And if you're buying a Japanese Assassin's Creed, like, I've wanted a Japanese Assassin's Creed for a long time. You want to play as a Japanese dude. You don't want, like, I don't even want to play it like, oh, you want to play as a white guy. No, I want to play as a Japanese guy. Like, this is some bullshit. I'm going to go play Ghost of Tsushima because that's way better.
When Neo came out, where you play as a white guy, there's this European bloke that landed in Japan and it becoming like a white samurai. When that happened, a bunch of people pushed back on that too. They said, of all the people to pick, why'd you pick this white guy? Like, he's literally got like white blonde, platinum blonde hair. Like, he's the whitest dude ever. He's a white dude with white hair, and he's the main character. And people didn't like that. And Neo must have come out nearly 10 years ago now as a PS4 release.
Yeah, it was, They're even trying to use that on Twitter. They're like, oh, you didn't complain then. It's like, actually, people did kind of complain.
And like a lot of people saying, Ghost of Tsushima is
heavy fantasy.
The sculptor is a white woman missing a leg from South Africa. That's...
Wow. That's amazing. That's like a Venn diagram. I can't get my head around it. There's too many overlapping circles there. She's white, but she's missing a leg, so she's, you know, trans-able or whatever. Wow, but she's South African white, so yeah. I was about to bring this point up a second ago, but the daughter, the female character that you can play as in this game, is a fictional character, a fictional daughter of an actual real-life famous shinobi. And they're like, oh, he had a daughter who was a complete badass. That's not true either. And on top of all of this, the game costs $130 US, so it's like 165 Australian.
At least, that's crazy.
Just for the standard game, man. That is some absolute bullshit.
I think I saw like the top of the line premium gold platinum edition or whatever, you know, how the best of the best with all the extras.
Yeah, I used to do that.
I think like $207 on the Xbox on the marketplace there the other day. I scrolled through and saw it. I think it was over $200
on the Xbox marketplace. So it's not even a physical thing with any. It's just digital stuff. That's bullshit, man. I remember I used to like. We're talking like, you know, Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, right? Like, I bought Black Ops, the big special, the most expensive version I could have, and I've got like this airdrop case that I just use as storage these days, you know? But like, I used to always go for the big collectible version of it, and the most I ever spent on that stuff was between $150 and $200, and I was getting all kinds of extras and different things. You know, like I've got some of it still on my shelf right behind me. But this here, that was the 130 US is just the base game. It's not the collector's edition. It doesn't come with a statue or anything like that. It is literally the base game.
And you see how they're on Wikipedia, excuse me, changing, like taking facts and details out of this guy's story to make it. They can't change too much because you know, even Wikipedia, there's a limit to how much subversive Big Brother type reimagining of shit you can do. But they're removing certain facts to make him seem more heroic and more samurai-like. And they even in the press release it says he's pushing back against the oppressors of the country. But it's like, so are the Japanese people, like, because Asians are practically white these days in their eyes, so I suppose it's okay to attack the Japanese since they have advantages, so it makes basically white.
Well, what Oz is saying here, the last good game was Black Flag. I actually disagree. I really like Origins, the Egyptian one. Like, that one was sick. That game was really good. But if we're not counting Origins, it's straight back to Black Flag. Like, there hasn't been a good one since. And there hasn't been a good one since Origins either. Like, Odyssey or whatever it was called was not very good.
I like the first opening, like the island that you start on Odyssey. I played that and I was enjoying it. Like, okay, I can get in this. I'm enjoying it. Very, very, of the era sort of thing. And then the minute you get a ship and you get off the island, I couldn't even navigate to the next. Like, it's just too much, too many options. I'm becoming such a boom with my games. If there's I can't play modern games. There's too many options. There's too many missions. It's too hard to navigate. It's too open world. There's no linearness to it. I really, really struggling with them. So I actually went back and purchased Black Flag again because it's just so much fun. It's one of the few games I bothered to 100%. Just sail around, be a pirate, have a bunch of different awesome costumes. You can shoot dudes in the face. It's Mo's going to click.
It's a good game.
That's not bad.
It's a good game. Yeah, no, what do you want to play a game here? The main character in Neo was actually a real person who had a great deal of influence in Japan's trade industry and was actually made a samurai and is buried in Japan to this day.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know that, man. Wow.
I bet at least some of the people that are pushing back against that character in Neo are the same people that saying that this guy's okay. They're like, no, how dare you disadvantage the brave, noble Japanese people by having a white MC, a white main character? And now, 10 years later, they're like, yes, we can completely reimagine history to suit DEI, to suit the narrative that we want to push. And there's a danger to using historical stuff when you tweak it and change it. And Assassin's Creed has always done this for as long as I can remember. I don't like it. I don't like in a video game where you come across Nikola Tesla for the 50th time. Like, I hate that shit. I hate it when you come across real characters. I mean, if you're telling
like
a
Benjamin
piece,
Franklin and they have shown, they've had historical characters in there, but never as like the character you're playing as, because they back then they were like, oh, we know this person's life. That didn't happen, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
But who's to say that this assassin never met him? And like that's how they got away with it.
But to completely because Chemo was an Edison man confirmed. You go to the indie comic scene on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and you type in something with the Tesla in it, you're probably going to get 5 or 6 hits. Like, people just overuse that concept. They overuse that guy. They overuse a lot of that sort of stuff. And I'm just a bit tired of seeing it. I've never been as big a fan of historical fiction as name of just fiction. I prefer stuff that's not so grounded in reality.
I just like fiction. Yeah.
Well,
I really like this. This reminded me what Herschel's comment here is. Yeah, I saw a meme where they're like, "Oh, someone's been assassinated." It was about this game. They're like, "Someone's been assassinated. Who was it?" And they have like a bunch of Asian dudes, and then this massive black dude just standing there, all inconspicuous.
I think the line there goes, the guy's being killed. Look for anybody suspicious, and they look into the crowd. There's this towering African American dude. They're like, African dude was an African American back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was an African dude. Yeah.
Now
like it's silly. It's not going to make any sense, and he's going to stand out just because he's a big black dude in like a tiny Asian country. But yeah,
he's not going to be able to blend. He's not going to be able to fit in. He's not going to be an efficient assassin. He makes a lot more sense as a DLC character, somebody who you run and do a few missions with, somebody who's got an issue that you've got to help them with, or you've got to help free him or help move him up in the world, whatever you want to do. Assassin's Creed Odyssey wasn't even an assassin. Well, I mean, that's how it felt. Like,
yeah,
I
it
felt
was
like I was
very
just playing...
mythical. It was honestly very mythical. It had a
Yeah.
lot, like it had Medusa and everything in it.
Oh, okay. I haven't played that.
Yeah.
I haven't played the past opening bit, and I never played. What was the Viking one? Asgard, Ragnarok.
I never played that one either. I'm not sure what that one was called, but that was the last one, wasn't it? Like just
yeah,
before
and
this one?
it was weird because the trailer had like Vikings pillaging a town, and like burning down churches and shit, and then there's a woman with her baby trying to like escape the Viking rampage, and these Vikings like hushing and going, "Quick, quietly, escape our awful rape fest that we're about to inflict on the rest of." Like they were trying so hard. Like these people hate Christianity and the foundation and the world that foundation built. They hate it so fucking much they had to retcon these Vikings. It's like, no, we won't rape you. You're okay. You take your baby and run. We won't do that. I think a more accurate representation is the Saxons in Clive Owen's King Arthur movie, where they're going to rape this chick, and the Saxon leader comes along and says, "No, we're not going to rape these people." And she says, "Oh, thank you, my lord, thank you." And he stabs her, and he says, "They're too weak. We're not going to breed with them. We don't need to sully our genetics with their like we conquered them. Why would we want to mix with them?"
They're clearly inferior. Yeah.
Yeah, like that made a lot more. If you want to circumvent the whole, that's why I had to stop watching them, Vikings and the Last Kingdom. There's just too much rape in it. I got to protect my peace.
Did you like?
Did
you like the American Assassin's Creed one?
Which one was that?
4. I want to say I can't remember.
Oh,
I never played it. I straight up never played it.
Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
I tried to play it, but you start off as like this guy on a ship, and you're like investigating shit on a ship. It's like I thought it was going to be like this Native American dude with a tomahawk and shit. It just took too long to get into it, and I hate having to jump back to the modern times. If they could just expunge that whole thing from Assassin's Creed games altogether. You're playing a missions, you do like 5 or 6 missions in a row. This is awesome. I'm a pirate. I got my own ship. Fuck yeah. And then all of a sudden you're back in like Astergo Corp or something, and you gotta walk around and hack people's computers to get bits of information. Like I don't even know what I'm doing. Like why? This is not what I paid to be a pirate. What is this? And they keep doing it. I don't know if they do it in Origins and Odyssey. I own both Origins and Odyssey, but it's just there's too much.
I really like Origins, not Odyssey.
I'll have to go back and give it another go.
Like Origins.
Origins feel like
is probably my favorite one, to be honest.
Really,
it's sick. Yeah, because I had like gotten over it. I was like, oh yeah, they were fun when I played them years ago, but I haven't bought the last one, and I don't think I'm going to buy this one. And then they did Egypt, and I was like, oh, I like Egypt. I'm going to check that one out, and it ended up being really good.
Okay,
I'm real picky, man. I'm real picky when it comes to games. Usually, I'll buy them and I won't play them for very long. I actually beat that entirely. I don't think I 100%ed it, but like I beat the whole story and I fucked around for ages and shit like that. But yeah, g'day Chris, welcome. Good to see you, man. But yeah.
You're hearing good things about the new Shogun TV show. I like the original one with Richard Chamberlain.
Shogun is so good, man. Yeah. Shogun was sick. Yeah, watch Shogun. Everybody everywhere is saying that Shogun is really good. G'day, Glenn.
These ones that there's evil English willing to defend their homes. Yeah, they just I can't believe that they're trying to portray these Vikings as like noble wayfarers that are opening up the world and exploring. It's like fucking rape factory. Like they're just slaughtering. I mean, sure, they did trade and also, and nobody's innocent. There's awful stuff everywhere. Like Anglo-Saxons is Angles and Saxons. Like these guys fought and killed and for years and years and years. But just the sheer cognitive dissonance to say these guys are going out raping, pillaging, but they're actually the good guys. But that's something I realized a while ago is if you descend from the English, like a lot of Australians do, then you descend from both Anglo-Saxons and Nordic people as well. Like when they come over and they integrated, like you can say, oh, the Vikings, terrorized and raped my ancestors. It's like, then that means that they're your ancestors as well. Like it gets so mixed up. There's no point getting angry over it.
Yeah. Right. Either way, I'm sorry, I'm just going through all my windows because something must have happened because everything has shit itself. That's why the Wolverine thing was all glitchy, and now none of these videos that I had set up are working. Oh yeah, this one's working. Here we go. We can just jump straight to this one then. I had to delete 2 things. Fine though. Check this shit out, man. The worst person that an account called Women Being Awful, the worst person that he has ever posted.
Wow.
You want to see?
Yeah.
This chick, not
Holy
joking
shit.
yet.
Holy
Fuck
shit.
going to this chick's house. Fuck going to this chick's house for real.
I used to let my friends use the bathroom in my house, but I've since learned how unsanitary that is. Before entering the potty area, I require guests to put on these foot covers, and first timers are required to read the rules. Important rule is to dig at least 6 inches from an existing stick because that's where another guest has dug a hole. It's pretty simple. You just dig a hole, do what you have to do, and put your toilet paper on top. I provide seeds.
Who does
that
she
must
think
be
she
placed
is?
inside to keep my garden growing. And once that's placed inside, you cover it up with the dirt you dug up, and then place some leaves on top. The last thing you have to do is mark the spot with one of these sticks. I do live in Arizona and it gets really hot, so I provide a bucket with refreshments and snacks that visitors can snack on while using the bathroom. And yes, there is a privacy curtain. Once that's done, they can take the
The
covers
privacy
off
curtain
and
doesn't
wash
even
them
go
in
all the way
sun.
down to the
Then they
ground.
place them in this jar so that the next guest can use them. Once my guest is done using the bathroom, I require them to sign this journal. And I do respectfully ask for
What?
tips. Cleaning this area can get a little expensive.
What? That's like
The worst person we've ever featured.
I was noping the
I
whole way, and then she has the fucking audacity to ask for tips. That is wild. Yeah, Ali's right. This is a fetish for her. This is I don't even think it's like the poop fetish. It's like it's the control. It's like controlling bodily functions, making people helpless, begging, "Can I please use your toilet?" No, but you have to, you know.
I would take a shit on your carpet if you were trying to tell me to go dig a hole in your backyard. Honestly.
Frog G says, I suspect her guests are not there voluntarily. He could be right.
Yeah, right. Ray, g'day, Ray. Ray says, what the fuck was that? It was the worst thing that anyone has ever seen.
And this
and
is
the
not
fact
the
that
first
she made a little video about this, like thinking it's fine. Like, this is okay.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, this is not the first iteration of this. She's worked through various versions of this, and this is the one that she's settled on. And she's added things. She's added the little footsie things. She's added the tipping. She's added and people have to. I require people to put their name in the journal in the notepad.
Why is she like timing it and dating it and things? Like, why does she need to know who did what?
That's where I think it gets into that fetish territory that Ali's talking about. Do you want to play a game? Says, can she be
like, this chick has been peed on before.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, no, this is what an absolute just disgusting mess this girl is. And look at all the sticks.
I mean, she could, obviously, she's begging for tips, so she probably doesn't have a lot of cash, but like you can buy you can buy like a camp porta potty. And like
it's literally just a chair with a bucket, right?
Yeah,
like, come on.
And like a curtain on 2 rods to stick up out of the ground for privacy, and just say, look, I don't want people going in here, which is it's weird to say I don't want people using my bathroom. Her bathroom did look super clean.
Her bathroom just looked like a normal bathroom.
If you just say, look, I'd rather if you go outside and use the outside one, you're like, that's a bit weird, but okay. And you know, you just be on a porta potty or whatever. But yeah, and to talk about it too, to sort of like advertise the whole thing, say, hey, I do this and I'm proud enough to share it with people. Like, I've got an Instagram account. I use it to look at Warhammer, paint jobs and Warhammer miniatures. I've never posted anything on there. There's nothing I've done that I'm so proud of that I'm going to put that up on Instagram, sort of thing. But this chick bothered to make like a whole. This looks like the Instagram interface. I could be wrong. Could be TikTok. But
why would I tip her for this?
And Rich is right. The sticker so you don't dig up someone else's business. Yeah. So you got to have.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, does she not, like, she just leaves it there forever? Like, did you see how many sticks were in the backyard?
Well,
and why would I tip her? Why would I tip her if I have to do all of this? And the curtain doesn't even go all the way down. Like, have a look at this, yeah? Like, we'll find it. Where's the curtain? Right? She's like, yes, I have a curtain. Right? The curtain is fucking, like, super
it's like
low.
6 inches off the ground.
Look, if you're squatting, you're going to see everything anyway.
Look how raggedy that, Yeah,
it's like it's been cut with scissors or something. Like, it doesn't even go all the way down. Like, what the hell is this shit? And then the audacity to ask for tips at the end. How fucking dare you? Who do you think you are, Lee?
Inconvenience someone, make them jump through a bunch of hoops in one of the most vulnerable points in a person's day, and then say, record it and pay me. Time and date it. No, I'm good. I'm good. It is haram.
Our Luniverse is like, this has to be a skit. No, man, no. This women being awful on Twitter, yeah, look it up, literally has some of the most horrendous things that you will not believe are real, but there's just so many of them that I guess they are. They honestly, they can't be anything else at this point. And this chick looks like the type, honestly. Let's scroll through the comments and see what people are saying. Nothing funny. Yeah, now people are arguing on whether or not it's fake. I wonder why I hate Arizona.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's it's a funny thing when people say stuff like that. Yeah, that's the reason I hate Arizona. This is the first time you ever seen that, man. You didn't know anything. If you hated Arizona, it was completely unrelated to this chick. Don't even try and pretend. She had the curtain like that on purpose so she can watch. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, like, what purpose would the curtain not be going all the way down to the bottom, right? Because if you're going to be squatting down, taking a shit in a hole, you're going to be like right down at the ground. And that's where the curtain cuts off, exactly where you would be squatted over. Like, it's bullshit. The whole thing, bullshit. Hold on. Yeah. Hey, awesome. Ray gave us a super chat. Hello, Ray.
Crazy.
Welcome. Thank you. I
Very
appreciate
generous,
the super
Ray.
chat. For Australian $14.99, he says, when are we going for that effing beer, Dean? It's getting cold now. Sheesh. I mean, when on the weekend? I told you I've got to finish my job. I've been getting my ass kicked at my job, but we will be having that beer soon. I promise you.
I think
Ray
you're going to
lives
have to buy
over.
the first round after that.
Ray lives like 25 minutes away, like not even, like 20 minutes, just up the freeway a little bit.
That's
and
wild.
like, I'm telling him that I'm going to go hang out with him for ages now. But now my job's been kicking my ass. And like, you know, I've got all these different comic books to draw, which I am nearly finished with them, I swear. But, you know, it's taking up all of my time. So very soon, Ray, very soon. But thank you. I appreciate that.
You should live stream it. You should live stream your beer.
I will. We will live stream our beer, Ray. She doesn't want anyone hiding out inside the curtain and attacking shitters. Yeah, you know what? That might be it. She collects the poop, then wraps it in cling wrap and freezes it to make
No!
Oh my God, Oz! I should really read these comments before I highlight them. Fuck
Took
it
it too
out.
far. That was... That's going to haunt me, that one. Like,
yeah,
because
no, sorry.
You know, when you're
I'm
an
sorry.
imaginative person and you can visualize, you can't help but like visualize the physics and the the physicality
The
of the
old
3D
Alaskan
space.
pipeline.
Yeah.
Akuma's like, I'm eating. No, why you like this? No, I do like Ray, Richard. I talk to Ray more than I talk to you, mate.
I don't talk to anybody. I feel terrible now.
Oh, well. Either way. I appreciate all of you guys joining us, and I appreciate Ray for that $14.99. You're a legend. You're much better than Awesome One and Richard. Yeah. You're not better than
Yeah, I
Henry
said it. I
Venus.
said it out loud.
Yeah, I said it out loud.
I said it and I'll say it again.
But yeah, no, we'll do a... Should I tell everyone? Because there's something else going in the box. Should I tell everyone about something else going in the box? Oh, let me pull it up. I'll find it. Because I haven't... Let me just Google. I'll get a picture of it so you guys can see. Yeah, if you haven't, this here is sick. Honestly, don't let the cover fool you either, because it took me forever to read this, because I was like, I don't want to read this. What the hell is this stupid shit? And it ended up being one of my favorite comic books ever. For real.
Wow.
Yeah, for real, man. This thing is good. Right? This is also going in the box, and you guys are going to love it. So become a member to enter my giveaway. But this is Ice Cream Man. Have you heard of Ice Cream Man?
I have, only because there was a dude who used to tweet out very short reviews of comics. Like, you go to a comic book store, you pick up 4 or 5 books and have, like, you know, 1-line review on each book saying this and this happened.
Yeah.
Good art, good this, bad that. And he always talked about Ice Cream Man positively. He always said how great Ice Cream Man was.
G'day, Suzanne. Well, yeah, it's a horror book, man. Ice Cream Man, like the Ice Cream Man himself, he's like Pennywise the Clown or something. You know, he's like this weird interdimensional shape-shifting thing. And he's evil as hell, and he's corrupting everything around him. So it's a horror book. And it's the bright colors and the pretty artwork is like unsettling as you're reading it, because, you know, like it doesn't match up with what you're reading, but it looks so happy and chipper. It is dead set. I've got the entire collection as of now. Like, I've bought the hardcover collections for myself, and I've given you guys volume 1, which I already owned, you know? And like, you know, it's in pristine condition. I've only ever read it once, but it is sick. And now this is going in the box as well, because it's going to be awesome. And I need a bigger box because there's a couple more things that are going in there and I just don't have the room. But yeah, Become a member today so you can win a copy of Ice Cream Man along with, X-Men Mutant Genesis and 7 to Eternity Volume 1 and 2 and Company Men hardcover and The Embrace and what else did I put in there? There's so much. Dark Souls. There's so many things. There's so many things. But yeah, Richard, I'm talking directly to you, my friend. I'm talking directly to you. Become a member. How many comics so far? There's like 8 already that I'd already announced, but there'll be like 12 in total, and they're all like graphic novels and shit too. Like there's some good ones. Oh yeah, Batman First Night, issue 1.
Mm-hmm.
What else have we got? I'm trying to remember. There's so many of them. Like I've literally lost count of how many of them there are. But yeah, definitely worth a read. Everything in there is worth a read. Uzumaki is sick. That's going in the box. What else have we got? Can't remember. I can't remember, but there's so many of them. So become a member for your chance to win this massive box full of comic books. Worldwide, it doesn't matter where you live. I'm going to deliver it to whoever wins. I'm going to start a band called The Shit Curtains. Well, best of luck, Henry. But yeah. Is there anything that would interest LGBT folks and that represent me, Dean? I mean, I did just say that Ice Cream Man is like a weird monster that is corrupting everything around him. So does that count?
Oh.
I'm the reason the gift is delayed, I'm sure. No, awesome one. The fact of the matter is X-Men 97, X-Men Mutant Genesis Volume 2, not Volume 2, 2.0, the recolored one, got cancelled on me. And they're like, oh, sorry, we're going to have to refund you. And this was only a few days ago. I'm like, I've been waiting for this for weeks. What the hell? And then so I had to buy it again. And now it's just like not here, you know? But yeah, like I had to delay because I want everything to be here. So I can't just, so I don't say something that ends up not being in the box. So as soon as it shows up, I'll be like, all right, the box is complete. Let's do the giveaway. And that should be here on the 7th, between the 7th and the 15th of June. And then we'll do it then. But yeah. I got Nosfero too. Nosfero's sick, Luniverse, honestly. If Dean can get to 1 million members by the end of the month, I will be member 1,000,001. That is not okay, Richard.
He could have said 1,500 or, I mean, end of the month is only like 4 days away, but
I have like 19 or 20. You could have said 50 and we would not have got there.
Yeah.
Honestly, like we basically everybody here is almost already a member except for Luniverse and Richard's making some sort of point to not do it. Yeah. Oh, Katie has gifted 1 membership. Thank you. Who is it? I don't know who it went to this time. Last time it went to Awesome One in some twist of fate, honestly. But yeah, if Awesome One wins, it's completely outrageous.
Went to Oz Great Sage, which frankly he might deserve after that whole poop dildo joke.
Oh my god.
Oh, Silver.
Yeah. Billy says, Dean, I just want us to be friends again like the old days. I'm your friend, Billy. What are you talking about?
Dean's everyone's friend. What are you talking
I'm
about?
not your friend. Yeah, I am incredibly friendly. Contrary to popular belief, I am extremely approachable and polite. I got a comic idea that's kind of horror themed. Are you going to tell us? Or is that it? Oh, Oz Great Sage became the member. Akuma, you can become a member yourself. I'm not a member, I cry. You don't need to be gifted a membership. You can just become a member. But either way, that's happening in a couple of weeks at the most. I'm just literally waiting for X-Men Mutant Genesis 2.0. And Ice Cream Man, as I said, don't let the cover fool you. Because I had heard all about it, and then I Googled what it was and saw these covers, and I was like, I'm not interested in this. But when I read it, it truly became one of my favorite books. It is so just twisted. It's really, really good. And it's like horror in like not a way that you'll get scared while reading it. Horror as in you would hate to live in this town, because it's based in the quote unquote real world, but then all of a sudden there's a werewolf eating all of the like pets. And like there's what else is there? One guy gets sucked into his TV, and so he's like every time he runs, like tries to run away, he goes through the door and he ends up in a different reality TV show. And like, but they're wrong. It's like a cooking show, but instead of it being ingredients, he gets given dead body parts and stuff like that. It's like it's really twisted. And this Ice Cream Man is the cause of it all. He's some sort of like monster or demon or something from another universe. That's not even important. It doesn't even matter. Like they even say it in the book. They're like, who knows what he is? Who cares?
And that's, there's
Yeah.
a whole train of thought on that. When you over-explain something, I was only about this the other day. There's this fantastic TV show called Banshee. It was on Max years, probably 10 years ago now. I think it's 2014, maybe it started.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where the old guy that runs the bar knows the local crime lord, and everyone's scared of the local crime lord until the new sheriff comes to town and starts fucking shit up. But the old dude that runs the bar always talks back to the crime lord and gives him cheek and doesn't do what he's told. And he goes, how do you do that? He goes, oh, well, we go way back. And it's never really explained why. What this bartender did. He used to be a boxer, used to be a big tough guy. So I figure he probably saved the crime lord's life at some point. So he sort of gets a free pass to be cheeky and talk back to him and not do what he's told and sort of tell him how it is. Banshee is freaking awesome. It's fantastic. I haven't seen the final season
last
yet.
season was apparently mediocre.
Yeah, I've got
I
it. I haven't watched it yet.
From Odin though, like the last season is a bit of a.
Yeah, which they sort of wrote themselves into a bit of a corner. So hopefully they did the best they could with season 4. I will check it out at some point when I've got a bit of time. Our whole family's here, so I hope you guys enjoy that background noise. But they never actually explained why these guys know each other and what happened. If they went back and they showed a scene where the crime boss is getting beat up by some dudes, and then the bar owner come in and helped him save his life, it would minimize that relationship. It'd be, well, here's this one very specific event. I talk about this with turning Logan into James Howlett, turning Wolverine into this very specific kid that lived in exactly this year, exactly this town, in exactly this part of Canada, and he exactly did this year, and then next week he did this next. And once you know everything, it's not as much fun. There's no mystery. So just to wrap that
Pizza Sharks in the chat.
Keep a little bit of mystery. We don't need to know who the ice cream man is. We know exactly what it is. When you start saying exactly what it is, like it. Once the clown became this specific alien with this very specific weakness, it changes the whole dynamic, and it's sort of a bit of a letdown.
Well, no, yeah. All we know is that he's definitely from like another planet or another dimension or something. Like he's not from Earth, and he's done this before. Like he's hung out on other planets until they were destroyed. It's usually his fault. He's some sort of like chaos demon or something. But yeah. Highly recommend this book, and it's going in the box, so you can check out volume 1, and then if you want, you can buy the rest of them. But I bought I liked it so much that I went and bought the hardcover deluxe edition.
Yeah, wow.
So I only do that for books that I really like, and this is like the cheerful artwork is unsettling as you're reading what you're reading. Like it shouldn't look this chipper, but it does, and it's great stuff. It's great stuff. Ice Cream Man Origins, Dairy of Death. I wouldn't be surprised, but that has not happened yet. Yeah, it is the embodiment of evil. Yeah, he's kind of the embodiment of evil in this, honestly. Like the only thing I can compare him to is it, because he's definitely a shapeshifter, and like he always has the same green eyes though, so like you can tell it's him. But he's been going around. And he's like just like killed. You don't know what happened to them, but every ice cream man across the US has gone missing, and he has replaced them with himself. And he's in all these places all at the same time, and like all this other shit that like it's really weird. Yeah, Ice Cream Man has one weakness: people that are lactose intolerant. What even is lactose?
It sounds like the lactose intolerant people are weak to the ice cream man.
Yeah,
hey, look, man, I'm gonna have to bounce because the whole fam's here.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm about to end it right here. I was going to end it on that. So
fantastic.
Let's listen to this song, and you can just leave while the song's playing. It's okay.
I think I might have to do that. I'll see you guys later.
See you guys. Like, subscribe, become a member, etc. And here's a song for Felix and that they told me to find, and I found it.